Having a great day today. Um, I want to get in here and just talk about goal setting and why it's important and how it can really help you start, grow, and maintain honestly your business and anything that you do. Even if it's a side hustle, I definitely just want to get into that. But yeah, so look, what's up, y'all? For those of y'all who don't know me, y'all know, but some people who don't, I'm Charles, and what I do is branding. I am a marketing consultant, and I have a marketing consulting company and a marketing media company that I run. Both of those companies, of course, I do my personal brand as well for things also. And I think that one of the largest things that I've learned over doing this, I've been doing this since about I'll say honestly about 2014, 15. Unofficially 2014, officially 2015 for sure. Um, but I think one of the biggest things that's helped me with business and even in my personal brand and even in just, of course, just life things in general is goal setting. Setting a goal and really understanding what that goal means. And since I've been doing business and working with clientele, and even in my own business, I had to start off and make sure that I set goals that were realistic and tangible. One, and two, set goals that were so outrageous that they scared me. And there's always that dynamic of having both sides to that. And I think it's really important for us to kind of just wrap our heads around it. So number one, you have to begin with the end in mind. And I know that's a very cliche phrase that a lot of people use in general, but even for me, when I talk to my clientele on a regular basis, my first question to them in the initial call, not even after they sign the contract, nothing like that. The initial call when I first meet them is, what is your end goal? So if you are 80, 90 years old and in a perfect world, what do you want this thing that you're talking about starting, what do you want that to be? And I think that it's very, very, very important that people really answer that question before they start. And I think it's a very important, it's so essential, y'all, because if you don't know where you're going, you're just driving. And I think that the goal setting is what really is gonna separate and really make sure that you keep on track. And I always reverse engineer everything from the end goal. So if your end goal is to be a Fortune 500 company, but you haven't even started a business bank account, that's good to know. And we can reverse engineer that and go that way. So I'm gonna just give y'all some little like goal setting tips that I give my clients and people that I work with on a regular basis. So number one, always just make sure that you have an end goal in mind. If it's something I honestly tell people, if it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. I would rather people set goals that are like, they kind of do doubt themselves. If they, sometimes people hit me with a goal, I want to make, $1 million a month. And I say, okay, cool. What if you made $1 million a day? So that goal right there is like $365 million. Setting that goal is so outrageous that going from 12 million to 365 million is a huge jump. But also, if you reach for 365 million and you end up hitting 100 million, that's not too bad either. So I definitely think it's a mind game, and it's a process that you take mentally. And I always try to mention it at all times that one of the biggest parts of business and you starting a business or having a brand or doing your personal brand, whether you're a content creator or whatever, is to really make sure that you're setting goals and you're setting yourself up to win every single time. And so that's the first thing. Number two, I want people to really, 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 really hear me when I say this. The importance of making sure that you set monetary goals. And not necessarily, and not like I said, of course I said the 365, but setting monetary goals for where you are right now. So literally like set that goal. What type of money do you want to make? Period. Like, what type of money do you want to make in this business? What type of what type of money do you want to make? What type of life do you want to live? I think it's really, 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 really important for people to make sure that they set goals for where they are right then and right now. Because for an example, if you're in your business, for an example, and you make $1,000 a week, all right. So now your next goal should be to make 2,000. And the only reason why I say it like that is because you have to, of course, give yourself realistic goals when it comes to real time and day-to-day things. And of course, you have the big goal in mind to reach the 365 million. But however, it's a lot of times that people don't understand that if they got that 365 million tomorrow, they would know what to do with it. And the game isn't to necessarily have the money, it's to maintain the money and to continuously grow that money. And a lot of times we aren't prepared for that type of money because we haven't experienced that. We haven't even mastered where we are right now. And that's okay. That's what the point of the process is for. And I know I talk about that a lot, but it's so important to stay in tune with that. So when you are setting goals or wherever you are, whatever you're doing, let's just say, for an example, you make $1,000 a month. Your next goal is 2,000. You write down that goal every single day, right? Like literally, you go into, I have a notepad right here. Let's see, like a regular notepad, right? Literally write down that goal every single day. I probably have some in here that I can show y'all. And I think that that's important as well, is to have notepads. Look, I got 3 of them right here. And a lot of this one I've had since about 2016, 2017. And I'm just a writer in general when it comes to goals and affirmations and different things like that. So it really has helped me kind of hone in on that. But I think one of the biggest things that has kind of helped me and just my process in general is to really see and write down the goals that I have on a regular basis. And y'all, when I say I have literally crushed goals by doing that, and I've done it without even recognizing it. And I think that's the important part to kind of mention. As you're writing down these goals on a regular basis, it's really gonna turn into second nature. And a lot of these goals you're gonna hit without even trying to. And I can, literally, what's up, Addie? I can literally go and like write down goals. I wrote down my goals every day. My first goal was $1,000 a week when I first started my business. Cool. I wrote down $1,000 a week every single day. And then eventually it turned into, okay, what are my services? What do I offer? What is my business that's going to help me make $1,000 a week? How does that realistic? So for an example, when I first started, I had $50 consultations, right? So if my consultations are $50, in order for me to make $1,000, I need to talk to 20 different people. So I have to go market myself for at least 200 to market to at least 200 plus people in order to even remotely get 20 people. And I think once you start setting goals like that and really setting like how much you want to make on a regular basis, it really turns and makes things realistic. So if you're a barber, you charge $20. If you want to make $100, if you want to make $1,000 a week, how many heads do you have to cut in order to do that? Is that even realistic? And I think that a lot of times we overthink the beginning part of the process and just understanding like what it is and what we're doing. A lot of people get caught up in the branding and the marketing and the logos and all that stuff. That's all fine and dandy, but when it really comes to when it really comes down to the logistics and the day-to-day process and the day-to-day goals to keep yourself going and the week-to-week things, you really do need that centralized process of, okay, for this week, I have to make this much money. If I don't make $1,000 this week, then I'm not doing what I need to do. The next time, once I hit 1,000, okay, my next goal is 2,000. Boom. As I hit 2,000, as soon as I hit 2,000, my next goal is 4,000. Not 3,000, 4,000. After that 4,000, my next goal is 8,000. And you keep doubling from there. And the reason why I say that is because once you start to keep going, you're starting to realize how much easier it is to make that type of money. If you can make $10,000 a month, you can easily make 50. And I think a lot of people do underrate that part of the process because it's so centralized with it's always stuck with just the end goal. And a lot of times people do get stagnant because they see such that big number of 365 million that people want, but they don't understand that we gotta work our way up to get there. And as long as we're setting goals that not necessarily are so realistic or tangible. I think it's just more so you have to keep that keeps the momentum going in your process altogether. Should you only set goals that are financial? No, definitely not only set goals that are financial. I think the financial goals give you the boundaries, and it gives you something that's tangible more than anything. Because a lot of times when we are in business, then yes, like we are in this thing to make money. But for an example, if you are doing a personal brand and you're an influencer, you really could set those goals of, okay, I want to have 12 brands per month that I want to collaborate with. Let's just say that I want 12 brands to reach out to me and collaborate with me per month. One brand per month, right? And how many times do you have to reach out to a brand in order to get a brand deal? How much content do you need to create in order to get their attention, in order to get a brand deal? So I think that's how you, like, goal setting makes things tangible for any type of process, honestly. I know when I was doing my content in college and started getting brand deals, like, I wasn't intentionally setting goals, but after a while, once I got a brand deal, it was like, okay, cool. And then I didn't have one for for an example, I think I got a brand deal in January, and I didn't have another one until March. And it was like, I don't like that. I want to have a goal. I want to have a brand deal a month. So what did I do in January that helped me get that brand deal? I have to turn that up times 10 to make sure I consistently get brand deals on a regular basis, because there is no guarantee with it. So I think it's just more so go ahead and set a initial goal. Set those initial goals of what you want to do based off the thing that you want to do. So if you are in a service-based industry, you want to have 5 clients per month, cool. 5 clients per month. You can set that goal as well. If you are in the product-based business, you want to sell 100 or 1,000 products per month, set that goal as well. And then reverse engineer that. If you sold one product, how much effort did it take for you to do that? And I think it's really important for people to really, really, really pay attention to the analytics that are in there, the analytics when it comes to Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all those different things. Like, those analytics aren't just numbers just because. And yeah, it looks good because somebody has, all this different reach and impressions and stuff like that. Those are real people and real numbers. And one thing that I like to tell people all the time is, of course, don't focus on the numbers so much, but you do need a measure to make sure that you are growing and you are being progressive in what you're doing. And that's just the honest truth. The only way you can measure it is by either your bank account or the amount of people that know you. And yes, for an example, like me, yes, I have 10,000 followers, but that reach doesn't always go all the way to 10,000. Everybody knows the algorithm is whatever this secret society is that makes up this algorithm, right? And it changes all the time. But that's still real numbers. And I say make sure that you pay attention to the numbers, not in the case of, that's where your value is in the numbers. However, it is the game of figuring out how you can reach as many people as possible. The insights are what you need to be looking at as far as the reach and impressions, not necessarily the likes and comments and all those different things. Those things are important when it comes to engagement and promoting and, those type of things. But the impressions and the reach and how many shares you have on a post, that content is really, 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 that part of it is really important to have, so you can have a measure of how many people that you're reaching and how is it converting on your side if you are doing a business, or if you are doing a brand, personal brand, and not necessarily focusing on money. You still have track of, I'm reaching this many people, and if I'm reaching 5,000 people per post, and I want a brand deal a month, and I did a post and I got a brand deal to call me off that one post. Okay, that's 5,000 people that I reached. All right. I need to reach 50,000 people. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have a post that goes viral, but you need to make 10 more posts of 5,000 impressions or more, at least. And that's where the science and the math comes in. And it's fairly simple once you start to really break it down and look at it for yourself and what you want to do. But I think setting those goals and understanding what you're doing and where you want to go. And that's why I said in the beginning, like, it's so important for you to know your end goal. If my end goal is to really be a brand ambassador for a lot of brands, and to consistently have this many, like if my end goal is to have 10 brands, 15, 20 brands a month, right? That's my end goal. So that's however much per year, right? But I can't count right now. But if that's your end goal, you don't have a brand deal right now. Are you getting one brand deal per month, let alone 20? That's where you need to start and figure out what you need to do in order to get one brand deal per month. And is that 20 brand deals even possible? If it is, cool. If it's not, you'll figure that out while you go through that process after you do one or two or three. How do you collaborate with the brand? I'm gonna save that conversation for the end for sure. I definitely got some more points that I want to hit on with the goal setting, but I'm definitely gonna answer your question. Speaking of real numbers, do you think it's advantageous for small business to do their branding, marketing in-house later down the road, or outside for a rebrand? That's a very good question. Is it advantageous for small business? New small businesses do their branding and marketing in-house or later down the road to hire outside? That's a very good question. It honestly depends on where that business is and what type of business it is, honestly. I honestly recommend that when it comes to marketing at any point in time, you should always be all hands on deck. So even if you're outsourcing marketing from somebody, you still need to be a part of that process, very much so. Now, marketing, the marketing process and the creative process is two different things. You have a message that you want to send out, which can be a goal. Like the message that you want to send out is a goal as well. However, how you present that goal is it's a creative aspect. And so I definitely think for any small business, everybody needs to be all hands on deck. And also I would rather, if you start off as a new business, definitely do it in-house until you get to a point where you can really afford somebody who can really push you to your next level, and not just somebody that can just be a worker and just work in the business. But for any new small business, I definitely recommend that you do it in-house first, so you can really learn, and you need to know in your business how you need to market your business. Just because you don't know marketing or know branding or didn't go to school for it does not mean that you can't learn it. You are in business to do business, and that's a part of business. That's, if anything, that is the lifeline of the business. That is the heartbeat of it. Yes, you have your products. Yes, you have all those other things, but your brand and how you promote and what you say when you promote is just as important. But yeah, so the brand and the concept of just setting goals in general is really, 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 really important. And you also have, I'm looking for something, y'all, okay, there it is. The brand that you are building and the business that you have, it's just really important for the person who's starting it and the person who has the brand. You have to stay in tune with that process all the way through. Even with me, and I work with my clients, like I make sure my clients are in tune with that process, because it is still your business, and how you want to market and how you want to do your business is up to you. I can suggest, you have people that suggest things all day long, but I would honestly compare your marketing sector of your business to the finance part. Like, you wouldn't just hire an accountant that you don't know, and just be like, oh, okay, well, here, you do your thing, and I hope he or she does me right. Like, no, you need to be a part of that process, because it's a part of your business. You need to know how much you're making per month, per day, per week. You need to know how you're promoting per month, per week, per day. And I think that the goal setting kind of gives you those boundaries, and it gives you that solid, it gives you that solid sector of, okay, I know the rails that I'm in, and this is my goal for this week. And it keeps you intentional about a lot of things. And along with the goal setting, once you get the end goal, so that's number one. The end goal is always the most important. Do that first. Find out what is the best case scenario in your perfect world, what your goal is, set that first. The second thing is figure out where you are now. How much money are you making in your business right now? If you have not started it, you're at zero, cool. The first goal that you need to look at is to make at least, I would recommend to everybody, if you need to make at least $1,000 a week. Even if you are working at a job full time, even if you are doing, I don't care what you're doing. If you're doing your business side hustle part time, if you really want this thing to really grow to end up going full time eventually, you need to be your bare minimum goal. If you're starting from zero, is to make $1,000 per week. Once you have mastered $1,000 per week, you start doubling from there. So you go from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 and so on and so forth. And those are monetary goals that you really want to hit because those will kind of help you out too. So the next thing, once you start those monetary goals and get in that flow of rolling with that, and you start to figure out, okay, I need it for whatever you're doing. Let's just say you need 20 people per week, 20 clients per week in order to make that $1,000. Now you're going to start to figure out, okay, what services do I offer? How much are those services? And then also that starts to help your business systems kind of come together too. So it turns into, if I have a service that takes me 4 hours to do, I can't let anybody book me for that particular service 10 times in one day. If I have a service that requires me to do something for someone that takes 4 hours, there's 24 hours in a day. There's no way I'm be able to do all of that at one time by myself. So you gotta, that starts to come in with the systems or whatever, like that's where that comes in. You'll be able to go to your scheduling app or whatever you do, and make sure that I'm sorry, my mind just went blank. And make sure that you are setting things in place for where you can win every time. And I always tell any clients or any people that I talk to in general, make sure that you are preparing for the increase. And that's why I say set the end goal first, because you know how good this thing can get. And but also be very, very, very strategic and very, very careful on making sure that not if it doesn't work, but if it does. It's a much worse feeling and a much dangerous place to be in if I was telling somebody this the other week, if you're making content, right, and you're only getting 100, 200 views per content, right? What if one day you start being consistent with content and everything is going well, everything is going right, and all of a sudden one of your posts or one of your reels or something that you post goes and it turns into 100,000, 200,000, 2 million views. You go viral off that one post. But mentally, you weren't in the headspace to know what your end goal is, so you're just doing whatever. For example, if you're a product-based business and you have a product that you post and it has 2 million posts, now you have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 orders. But you only have inventory for the 200 views that you already are getting. That's where you need to make sure that you have something in place, goals that are set in place where it's like, okay, I already have my goals set in place where I need to sell this many products per week. So I'm already pushing myself to that, which means I'm preparing myself for if something does happen. So if I were to do it for per week, if I was trying to sell 1,000 products per week, that's 4,000 products per month. I have at least 4 to 5 to 6 to 8,000 products on hand that I can make sure that I can put out on a regular basis. So if that time does come where you do go viral or you have a situation where something really does go well, you're already prepared for it. And even in the sense of, anyone that does a product-based business as well, same thing. You have your services and your business system set up to a place where you can win every time, no matter how good anything happens with your business. So that part I think is really, really important for a lot of people to just mention and really just be in that mindset, like honestly. Really make sure that you're in that mindset of, okay, if this does work, am I prepared for it? And that's a much harder question to ask yourself than, if this thing goes wrong, what am I going to do? And then the last thing, as far as like goals, I definitely want people to make sure that they're setting that they're setting goals for themselves, but also setting goals for the actual marketing side of your business. And what I mean by that is, how much do you want to promote? What is your vision for how you want to market in the future? And of course, for me, like, I'm always thinking about those things, but I do want people to really kind of understand and really feel and understand, like, how do you want things to look? If for people who still watch TV and watch commercials and stuff like that, like, what do you want your commercial to look like? Like, that's a real question. What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to say? How do you want the energy to be that you put off on a regular basis? And I think once you start to really go through that process of setting those goals, a lot of different things are starting to come and connect together. And a lot of things that you're wondering about, you'll learn over time. And also, too, you'll see how you need to set larger goals than you did before. And also, you'll see how bad you really want it. Like, you'll really figure out in the process of you setting these goals, it's like, okay, if it takes me a lot of effort to make $4,000 a week and I don't like doing this probably isn't a thing for me. And that's okay. But if it's something that you really want to do, you'll be willing to understand, like, okay, how can I will find a way, somehow, some way to make this work. So those are really all the points that I had so far, as far as like setting goals and just making sure that you have boundaries and you have a guideline and a roadmap that you make yourself for where you want to go. And of course, you still have like the business plans and the marketing plans and the strategies that have to go into a lot of those things. But a lot of times those are the first questions and those are the answers that needs to be answered first. When I do a marketing strategy for someone, I ask them, what is your goal? Like, I need to know your goal before I make this marketing strategy. Like, there is no, and even for the business plan, like, I need the business plan is a roadmap to figure out how you're going to reach your end goal. That's all a business plan is. Like, if you're going to an investor, they need to know, okay, how big are you trying to grow your business? How serious are you about this? And that is, okay, if your goal is big enough, then you're going to have to be